That's cool. That's a cool
Great.
story. I have no idea about blacksmiths, but I'm sure a lot of our listeners.
I'll link you the website later.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Smudcast number 858. Why is the Devil May Cry community so toxic? Geez, I don't know. I've never really paid attention. I don't know where you'd find them online. I'm assuming just Reddit. It's always Reddit. And
Because it's full of demons.
people who watch and play Devil May, well, now they watch because now it's an anime, I guess, but
It's a cartoon, it's not an anime.
it's not an anime?
It doesn't meet the standard. It doesn't have the animation quality, care taken into it. It's not the same lighting. They don't even care about perspective. It's not anime. It's all cartoon stuff.
It doesn't matter what it is because it got people actually play the old games again, and the player numbers for the HD collection skyrocketed after that thing came out.
Good.
Well,
but
glad...
can the people who are the tourist crowd, can they actually stand the old games?
If you ever hear someone say, "Wow, I can't believe how good Devil May Cry 2 is compared to 1," then you know who you're listening to, as opposed to who actually plays the games. So, yeah, no, DMC is a great series. It's got some hiccups, of course, but really fun. I haven't watched the anime, even though you guys don't call it that. It's on the list of things to watch. I just never decided to. I have other anime to watch.
Just because Netflix calls it that doesn't make it so.
Well,
just because the Japanese use the term for all animation doesn't mean that we use it that way. Because we use it to distinguish between Japanese animation and Western animation.
The non-Netflix websites I watch various anime on have it listed, so I'm like, all right, it's on. It's on.
Netflix has funded some actual anime that, what was it? Record of Ragnarok?
Really?
That battle thing? That was funded by Netflix, as far as I know.
That was not very.
That is an actual anime.
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, what I saw was not very impressive, unfortunately. The animation style or the number of frames of animation was very limited, so I was like, it's there.
Yeah, it's mediocre, but it is anime in style,
okay.
and
Fair.
It reaches the medium quality of anime and even of a battle anime. But all this Adi Shankar stuff does not. The animation errors in those, the way that they just basically move PNGs around and manipulate them, the way they draw the expressions and move them around. It's similar to, and Gingerman will punch me for this, or rather it's worse. It's worse than the DC and Marvel cartoons. Because if you look at the Batman animated series, that was still proper hand-drawn animation. But what you get today is just manipulating PNGs around. It looks horrible, and it's always, once you spot this, it is always say 3 words, change of expression. Say 3 words, change of expression. Say 3 words, change of arm position. Change of body position. Say 3 words, change of thing. And that is what it does. There's no flow. It's this disconnected, hacked off stuff. That is what American cartoons do right now. It's not anime. Anime is fluent. Even European animation is fluent. That's the big difference right now. If you want to see American animation at its peak, rewatch The Iron Giant. That was American. That's the American animation I want to see.
All right.
Hang on. Did the Iron Giant come out before or after Treasure Planet?
Before.
Iron Giant was 90s.
Yeah. Treasure Planet was, I think, the last big one. Or was I think this was after.
A lot of people technically
Treasure Planet was amazing.
A lot of people consider Treasure Planet the unofficial last film of the Renaissance period. Because it was meant to be made and released during the Renaissance, but it kept getting pushed back until Disney finally relented.
Was Titana A still in that? I have to rewatch that, but I believe that was also still hand drawn in large parts.
It might have been. I never really looked into it for that one specifically.
Yeah, not Treasure Planet, Titan AE.
Titan A. That one might have been hand drawn.
Anyway.
You can do it, America. You can do it. You just need to want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a video that came out this month, just last week. It has almost 30,000 views from a YouTuber called Zero, who has over 1 million subs. I don't know who this guy is, and I've never heard of him. So something's up with...
Unfortunately, I recognize the name, and I'm not sure where from.
Yeah, I don't know. Never heard of this guy. Anyway, it's less than 90 minutes. Won't take too long to go through. Let us see what's going on.
Let's go back to another sloppy, sloopy, gloopy video. I'm not sick anymore, or like rather I'm getting over being sick, so I actually sound
This is his first 10 seconds.
like a normal guy. Bro, so today I wanted to talk about like some stuff, mainly Twitter. Twitter
He has 1 million subs.
is, as you guys know, the most like disgusting cesspool ever. Like it's
No, that'd be partially Reddit. What other social media is pretty bad?
This is cut out of a stream?
I don't know. This is the first 20 seconds. I'm just like, dude, what are you talking about?
Probably just drawing out the intro, honestly.
Possibly.
Yeah, he's just socializing with his audience. That's okay.
people just complaining. Everybody on Twitter is so it's just unbelievable. People say Instagram is bad, like as far as like comments and people being toxic. Bro, I would argue that Twitter is worse because
YouTube's pretty bad. They're all pretty bad. It doesn't really matter which one you go to. You're gonna get everyone hitting everyone on every topic. Even when you go to Twitter and you get like a good thing, the contrarians or the people who are against, like, say, a liberal party, a conservative party, doesn't matter. Conservative party is like, we're going to lower taxes. Liberals are like, you can't do that. It's like, it doesn't matter. You're going to get the contrary of every opinion, just bombard the entire thread. So, doesn't matter. Twitter, Tumblr, pick anything. You're going to get the worst of the worst.
it's like on Instagram, you have people who are just like coming up with a roast and like insulting you. But on Twitter, that's where the people that actually have no life reside. And the reason
No, I don't think you can characterize everyone like that on an entire platform. Like, it's like saying people on YouTube have no life. It's like, no, it's one of the biggest websites in the world. You go to social media like YouTube to watch films or watch videos, listen to commentary, listen to music, and maybe you have 15 minutes out of your break to do so. Or maybe you're taking a break from your normal life. Maybe you're going for a jog and you're just sort of trying to type on your phone while breathing heavily. There's lots of reasons why people go on social media. So
it's also a big advertisement platform at this point for many artists and other things. And there's a lot of politicians on there, of which some surely don't have a life because they don't actually do their job, but just eat up tax money. But there are also politicians on there that actually do work and engage, which is surprising on what kind of reach you can have that way as a lowly citizen. But I'm getting a bit of whiplash with the Mario 64 water theme juxtaposed with Devil May Cry. That's a bit funny. Like it's because in my head I'm playing through the level and then I see Devil May Cry. Help!
what I'm saying is I like had a bad experience on Twitter lately. It's because the like Devil May Cry community when it comes to Twitter is some of the most toxic shit I've ever seen in my entire life. And I just
okay, wait. This guy.
Are you sure it's the Devil May Cry fans,
Yeah.
or is it just Adi Shankar tourists?
First off, this guy has 1 million subs, okay? I want to reiterate this. He's now... the worst toxic community ever is the Devil May Cry people on Twitter? Really? Where have you been in the past 15 years?
I do need receipts for that because we have this whole Steven Universe thing where actual creators were bullied into self-deletion.
Well, try Reddit, try Tumblr, try YouTube, which you have, again, 1 million subs. Twitter is it's a big social smorgasbord of people screaming at each other, but that's nothing compared to Reddit, which is just...
Fan artists are bullied into suicide.
Yeah, with Twitter, you get like 140 characters or something like that to say whatever you want very quickly. And it's like, that's, you get-
180 unless you pay for extra.
yeah, it's so brief, it doesn't really matter. With Reddit, you get an entire page. You can go crazy and just bomb everything if you wanted.
You say that, but if you use Twitter for free, you're limited to 280 characters. But if you pay for it, you get entire pages to write.
Well, I'm just saying the average user from Reddit to Twitter to Tumblr. Tumblr is a little different. Tumblr is pretty much text messaging the same way Twitter is designed that way for free. But even then, you'll get these extremely biased fans of any group. So it's like, this is rather silly. YouTube, I would say, is the biggest and the worst just because you get everyone. But you could also write pages and pages. But there's a whole moderation, self-moderation control that the poster of a video can manipulate. So I don't think this guy has been around, or he's being extremely hyperbolic to say that, these DMC fans, oh, wow.
The most classical thing that could be going on is that the mostest thing ever is the thing I currently notice in this very second.
Without memory or
and
knowledge.
The last mostest thing ever is forgotten, and then it will be replaced by the next mostest thing ever after this is over.
Right. So it sounds very childish or immature or not very knowledgeable of online space. Especially during election years. Anyway, someone wanted to come on. I just brought him on. Thank you, sir, for saying hello and popping on and giving us your time. How you doing?
All right, I guess. So you questioned how he got 1 million subs. Well, this is actually a weird theory that came around because this was shortly after the whole EFAP synthetic man thing, where he just got a huge boost in subscribers. One of the popular theories was that he botted for subs. There was supposedly a tweet he made admitting to this, but it was deleted. But that's hearsay. I can't prove it, and it was never. I don't think it was ever archived.
How is there still Fallout stuff going on from this stupid EFAP synthetic man thing?
Well, I'm the only one who's obsessed with it, I guess. But that was like 2 months after that. But no one who ever even collaborated with Zero could have ever gotten him that far. He himself says that it was because of the shorts content he does, which gets a lot of views.
Oh.
Yeah, YouTube does favor shorts right now.
That's true, yeah. I could explain it.
Yeah.
YouTube's trying too hard to be TikTok.
Yeah, that was one of the worst decisions they ever made. And that's a long list.
Okay, fair enough. That explains a lot because this is not a good format for him. The way he's talking and communicating and his knowledge of online social media spaces is just like, wow, that's just like he hasn't been around for too long to say that, but it's just awkward to listen to him say, this is the worst online community. It's like, really, that's the worst? Ever heard of Facebook? Ever heard of Instapages? Ever heard of again, Tumblr is one of the worst back in the day. Now it's a little smaller, but it's still pretty bad. But yeah, Reddit is up there. Twitter is now a little bit more reformed because of X, but now a lot of those weirdos went to Blue Sky. They're still on Twitter as well, but they jump around. So yeah, I'm not saying X is not toxic, however you want to describe that, but it's not the biggest.
Have you ever heard of this very, very mud-flinging place called 4chan from the old internet days?
Well, it's gone now, so rest in peace, 4chan.
Yeah. That's why I say the old internet.
Yeah.
The old internet was 3 days ago.
Do you remember when we were young?
Anyway.
Yeah, well, 3 days ago.
Yeah, let's get back to his arguments, which we've totally forgotten about. Anyway, let's just keep going.
Kind of talking about it. Before I even actually get topic that I actually want to talk about in this video, I just want to explain one thing first. And it's that with any game like this that has a lot of depth to it, there is always going to be 3 classifications of people that regularly play the game. And it's always going to be like that until the end of time. There's always going to be these 3 character classes. The first one is the tourist, number 1.
Okay.
Character classes.
It's like the I forgot the names for card games, board games, and such. That is the guy who's just there for the story experience, basically to have something cool happen. The mechanic, the one who's into the mechanics.
Types of players.
Yeah, and the type who's only there for winning no matter what. So the tourist would be most close to the I would just want to have a cool experience happen. But I'd say the tourist is worse than that. Because the one who's there for the cool experience will still be a positive element of it all.
Yeah, this
and still be there for the substance of the thing.
If you actually listen to the points here, beat the game once at launch. No, that's not a tourist. Less than 10 hours of gameplay, maybe. Game sits in Steam
depends
Library.
on the game, though.
Yeah. Replays it every year. Nope, that's not a tourist.
Oh, that's way more than a tourist.
Yeah.
A tourist is just somebody who drives by the game, doesn't necessarily buy it, pretends to be all about it, and rather shits on it for not being enough like his ideology.
I would say
a tourist is a pretend fan.
Think of it as someone who bought Elden Ring because of the hype, and then just I can't play it, and they just never played it ever again.
Oh, like the guy who then complained that it's way too hard.
Maybe. Yeah. Sometimes they don't even care. They're
like 10 hours
They just got it because everyone else did, and they thought it was cool, and they stopped playing after like the first week.
And, games like this shouldn't be made, even though it's the last iteration in a long series.
Yeah,
of games.
I guess our standards are so hardcore that when we think of a tourist, we think of someone so beneath the concept of a gamer. We're like, yeah, they might.
Yeah. So he gets the tourist wrong.
Yeah.
But he means this is a casual.
These are people who just are trying out the game. Maybe they got the game gifted to them. Maybe they heard about it being cool. They play the game. They beat it maybe once or twice. And then after that, it stays in their Steam library. They might play it occasionally every year or so. And then that's the casual. They're not good at the game. They're not trying to be good at the game. They just thought it was interesting and they were trying it out. They're tourists.
Yeah, like I play New Vegas once a year on principle, not because I'm a tourist. It's because I really love the game and I've got all these other responsibilities and time. It's like, no. I haven't played my Mr. House run yet this year. I got to do that. So
most JRPGs I only play once. And yes, they do take longer than 10 hours, but I only usually play them once.
It's kind of strange to put a skill level when it comes to being a tourist. I know that's sort of natural, but it's weird to even have that be considered or one of the things you say out loud.
Yeah, it depends on the game.
It's not entirely wrong, but the real tourist would play on game journalist mode, not on easy. The casual might play on normal, might play on easy, but the tourist will find easy too hard.
Right, like the casual Elden Ring player may even pass Elden Ring, but he'll do it in a very non-min-max way. They'll just like, okay, what works? I'll try to keep doing that, and they'll find something else that works to beat this boss and keep doing that until they get to the last boss. And that could take 2 months, it could take an entire year because they don't play as much. So skill level is part of that.
I'm still going to use the term colonizer for what this guy calls it.
Colonizer. He colonizes the game.
Yeah, I still see tourists as people who they see a game trending, they go into it, play it once, leave.
Yeah.
They don't demand changes.
Okay, that's interesting. I've never heard of colonizer before. Anyway, the fan. Here we go.
Then you have the fan. This is somebody who's actually a fan of the game or
beat the game a few times. Okay,
not necessarily depends on the game. Yeah. If it's a really good one, I will replay it. But for really long games like some JRPGs, I'm probably not gonna.
Yeah.
The exceptions for that.
It's not even just that, Wisp. There's a few games you can't beat, like Team Fortress 2 or the games like it. Like there's a few.
That's an Infinite game. That's another story.
Exactly. So,
But or Minecraft, really, even though it has technically it has an endpoint.
you
But
have an end to Minecraft. You have an
yeah,
end
but
goal.
look, a game like Lufia: Rise of the Sinistrals, it's really long, and I only played for it twice in my entire life. Yet I can't stop talking about it
It's-
because it's so amazing.
Games like that are so niche that
Paxton, your microphone is catching your breath.
well, games like that are very niche.
Oh, it's the wind.
and the rest
Outside.
the rest of these descriptions, like draws fan art and wears cosplays, that's a super fan. That's like someone
That's a special thing, and that can go all across. Tourists can do that.
oh yeah,
Actual tourists,
Remember-
colonizers can do that.
I've had
So remember, fan, it's short for fanatic.
right.
So if you're a fan, it's basically you're like Wisp with Luffy or
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Driver.
but I've had friends who don't even know the game, but they'll have a friend who played the game and they watched it or they saw the cover art and they say, I like that character, let me draw it, because they're artists. They like to draw. Or some girls will be like, hey, what's a cool, cute thing I could do for the cosplay at the anime convention? And the boyfriend says, try that. It's not really... I haven't met anyone who cosplays any of the games that I've been into, the fandoms. So
Yeah.
that's very specific.
But look, some tourists will be in that scene. They will draw something or do a cosplay, not because they actually like the thing, but because they think it's the current popular thing, and they can win something with it. They can get attention through it. That can be malicious. It can be just because they like cosplay. When you like cosplay in general, you might do it for that.
Yeah.
But there are also malicious people, and there are very tasteless people.
Well-
The other thing is you have what would be part in the colonizer variant, which is I'm gonna fix the character and make it more ideologically compliant. Which is the same as if a Christian mom would also cover up a character or make her less sexy,
Well,
as the SJWs do right now.
either way, we're talking about DMC and using this as a comparison for categories of gamer types. I'm not even sure where he's coming from. So it's hard to say where these criteria
Yeah.
have any meaning.
Yeah, so you don't have to be all of these. Even in his mind, don't have to be all of these, but you will hit one or two of these boxes.
Plus, there's no meaning to this. He's just suddenly started listing fan types, and we're like, why?
That game and cares about it
Of
more
all the things
and
he's
for
said so
longer
far,
than
the one
Tourist
thing he
does.
hasn't said is that that people appreciate the thing for what it is. They attempt to change it, but that's only in respect towards the thing.
Yeah, if you're
Like-
saying you're a fan, exactly, you should respect the thing as a thing for what it is. And then you go
Like-
through it and say, this is what I love, this is why it's good, and then you go, this is where there's a problem. That's what fans do. They don't just sit there and gush about everything being perfect. I've went through so many of these arguments on the BioWare social forums where everything's amazing. It's a gift to God. Everything about this series is brilliant. You're like, really? Dragon Age 2 is brilliant. It's an amazing experience for everyone. It's just silly stuff like that where you have to okay, slow down your hype and just pay attention to quality, and then we can have a discussion on why something is good and why something doesn't. Because it's almost nauseating talking to people like that. It's just there's no point to listening to their opinions.
By the way, my Nightmare playthrough in Origins is going well.
Oh yeah, Nightmare.
Yeah,
Hard as hell.
It's actually really easy.
Yeah, really?
I'm disappointed by how easy it is most of the time.
Okay.
It's only when I get to bosses that are level to fight that
You
I
wanna-
have difficulty.
You want to pull your hair out? Yeah. Okay.
really bad at the game, but they go out, they buy the merch, they watch YouTube videos about the game. After they beat the game more than once or twice, they continue to play it. They might draw fan art of the characters or make and wear cosplays and stuff. Just a fan of the game. Then you have your third and final character class, the Sweat. These are people who are above the average skill level at the game because they know all about different tech and techniques. They've beaten the game
I've never heard this term before.
an uncountable amount of times and have hundreds upon hundreds, if not thousands upon thousands of hours in.
Look, I have over 1,000 hours in Path of Exile. I don't understand what's going on.
Are you sweating?
So,
I'm
so the sweat, it refers
trying
to
Yeah, Frednot?
It refers to how a lot of gamers who are, competitive, they're in competitive games. A lot of them will generally not take very good care of their hygiene and end up, really sweaty.
Yeah, but it means what he means to say is you're very engaged, not that you actually stink.
So it's sort of a, it's sort of a derogatory way of saying someone's really good.
No, it's that your blood and tears are in it.
Well, usually
I'm trying to think of what the it's kind of an affectionate insult.
I guess usually when we talk about games that have a social community or anything online, like an online game, we use the Bartle taxonomy. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but there's like the socializer people, there's the killer people, there's the achiever, they want all the achievements, and there's the explorers. They just want to explore the game. So those are the four main archetypes we use to understand the play style of online gamers or any kind of online community. So this is completely subjective. I have no idea where he's coming with this, especially with DMC, because DMC is a single player game. There is no, I mean, I would watch when DMC first came out. I was part of an anime community.
Mm-hmm.
I would, before we were waiting for people to come in. People came late, waiting for the VCR or whatever they were bringing the tapes. We would watch people play DMC. It was like, wow, this is fun. This looks cool. It's like watching an anime because it's so action packed, and we were just enjoying it because we had no idea what it was. And then a year later, while we were still watching anime at the same club, we got to know, they're part of the fighting game club, and they just happened to have DMC with them. So they're actually part of another club, and they liked anime, and it was, crossed with their time because they were using the same space, and they were just chilling out with us. So there's a whole group of people on a whole different wavelength appreciating the same art style in a different media. So it just worked out that way, that we shared common interests and we learned about gaming and anime together. So it wasn't a big deal, and no one really got angry at all. We all had a good time.
And look, the 1,000 hours mark, it's completely arbitrary. It just sounds big. The games I've mastered the most are Bayonetta 1 and 2, and back in the day Warcraft 3. And even those three together, I would assume, don't add up to 1,000 hours altogether.
Probably not, no. People don't realize how long that is.
Yeah.
So
I've just got that in Path of Exile, and it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah.
Are 3 character classes, right? These are our 3 factions. The tourist, the fan,
this is a nonsense concept.
Now, what the problem is on Twitter specifically, I don't know why only on Twitter, we're having a massive civil war that's happening where the sweats are attacking the other 2 factions, right? It's like a cold war. The sweats...
What?
That's because your understanding of what a tourist is wrong.
Well,
the tourist is a class beneath what you classify as the tourist. That's the casual.
Let's forget his classification, his criteria, because they're very stupid. Let's just assume the sweat is like the pros or the hardcore. The tourists are the casuals, and something in between is whatever the fan is. I think that's the easiest way to understand what he's trying to explain. This is a horrible definition and explanation.
Yes. The war and are attacking inward and being super cruel to the fans and the tourists. And I'm going to show you guys a crazy example of this and talk about like why this is the stupidest thing ever. It makes absolutely no sense to do this. So on Twitter, there's this creator that makes like DMC TikToks and Twitch streams called Brucow. I'm sorry. And she's been posting content showing off like different merch she has on the game and showing off like her cosplays and streaming the games on Twitch. So this person was super excited for the Devil May Cry anime on Netflix to drop and put out a review once it came out, talking about how she liked it and thinks the show did a really good job. Great pacing, nice plot twist, animation improved during most fight scenes. My complaints are minor and nitpicky, but overall it was great. Enjoyed.
Okay, so this is a fan of DMC.
Well, she had a bad opinion.
Yeah, she likes DMC. It doesn't matter if it's an anime or a game. She's gonna like it, right? That's what it sounds like.
Okay, then I would rather say it's a very superficial person, because that that show was not good.
This
and
is
it's
the typical response from online fandoms who are positive about a thing. And this is what I talked about in the Bioware social forums. You find that 80% of the people there, wow, I love this thing. I'm glad I'm talking to you guys. Let's talk about my favorite thing, blah, blah, blah. And that's it. There's barely any criticism. There's barely any negativity. It's like, I like this thing. I like this thing in another format. And it's like, yay, I can't wait for the next thing.
doesn't even make sense, just like the Castlevania crap that Adi Shankar made.
It's the joke that Red Lever Media made about get excited for next thing from the same friend. Yeah, it's the same. It's exactly the same.
Less questions, just consume products and then get excited for next.
Yeah, so that means she's the Star Wars fan who judges Star Wars by the presence of lightsabers and TIE fighters.
Or just the title alone.
Yeah, it's just official stamp
DMC,
on,
which I always found mediocre. Want season 2. So this tweet got a whole bunch of hate from people calling her like not a real fan and sending all kind of mean messages to her for liking this anime, basically. So she responded to all those people by posting this photo, and it's like her laying on the ground dead with like a gravestone with like a whole bunch of like DMC merch around her to basically like
look at all my merch. Therefore, I'm a fan. Okay, sure. You know, you're
just a this is the difference between a customer and a consumer.
Yeah,
this is a consumer.
Imagine you're really... Go ahead.
Isn't that plush from Final Fantasy? The one next to the Dante statue in the center?
Is it? I have no idea.
Yeah, Google's everywhere.
Well, just imagine how goofy this is. Like, if you're a BMW lover and you have like, I have 5 BMWs. Like, that just means you could buy cars. It doesn't mean you know how to fix them. Or what's in them, or why you like the engines or the design. Well, it's so stupid. Look at all my stuff. Therefore, I must
BMWs are great if you like fixing cars, because the German word for it is BMW is an abbreviation for Bring mich Werkstatt, which means bring me workshop.
Well, any car fanatic, not necessarily the people who like driving cars, but the people who like taking cars apart and learning about engines, they all love the BMW because that's exactly what they're for. They're for taking them apart, cleaning them out, and figuring out how to make this thing.
They exist to repair.
Something like that. It's kind of like how Carmack likes buying a bike or a Ferrari just to take it apart. He just wants to figure out how it works. Whereas the BMW guy wants to figure out for performance. I want to get this thing to go even better. You know, they want the best parts, the best injectors, all kinds of stuff. So just showing me that you bought shit doesn't mean shit. It just means you have a wallet and you like the thing.
Mm-hmm. You like the aesthetic.
And I would say some of that's kind of tacky and it takes up a lot of space.
And that's the thing. If you like the aesthetic, how come the low quality that Adi Shankar produces satisfies you? That means you don't have a real standard.
Like if
they made it so Dante doesn't even know his father was Sparta.
Oh really? Oh jeez.
Oh god.
I what?
Like imagine.
Yes.
You're joking.
Imagine
you're not serious.
No.
Okay. Imagine a fan of DMC, and they love 4 the most, or they love the remake of DMC. How's that? And you're like, whoa. The reboot, or whatever you want to call that. Dark-haired Dante, yeah.
Oh, you mean like a God of War fan who likes Ragnarok
Something
the most?
Like
or
that.
a Bayonetta fan who likes Free the most?
I would say my example is better because it's on the topic, and it was such a...
Or a Dragon Age fan who likes Veilguard the most?
Fuck, let's not even go there. Don't even touch that.
I am going there, and I have been there.
Someone's like stuck her mouth. Likes Andromeda the most.
Oh, God. Let's just...
We can keep going.
Let's just keep watching the video before I hurt myself.
Prove those people wrong and say that she's an actual fan. And this post got 2 million views. Here lies Brukauru, slain by fandom, crime, enjoying Netflix DMC despite its non-canon sins. Was she really a true fan? 1989 to 2025. And the comments under this are just dastardly, bro. You're a true fan, all right, but that's not a good thing, and you shouldn't be proud of that. You're just a blind, mindless, loyal follower that will consume whatever is put in front of you, so long as it's part of the brand. So yes, you are a true fan.
Yes, in the original unironic sense of the word fanatic, not the endearing diminutive fan.
Yeah, I'm going to agree.
Actual fanatic.
I'm going to agree with not with the definition, but what this guy's trying to say. So,
but I'd say we can distinguish between two types of fanatics, which is the consumer fanatic, which is what she is, and the substance fanatics, which are the people who care about canon, about things being done right, about the quality level.
Yeah, that's what I
Also,
think it comes down to.
Shankar himself tried to lie about it and say that this version was true to the source material.
As he always does, because he's a pathological liar who sells crap.
Sorry,
and who wants
who?
to fall upward. Adi Shankar,
Adi
the guy
Shankar.
Adi Shankar who made this crap,
Oh,
and who made the Castlevania cartoon, and what else crap did he make? He made one more thing, I believe.
The
Captain Laserhawk.
I don't remember.
It was another thing on Netflix. It had Rayman do coke.
right.
Oh, that was
Rayman.
also Shankar.
Wow.
Yes.
I missed that.
Yeah, okay.
he was
Yeah.
he was a producer for Dread.
Interesting.
The movie?
Yeah, that movie was fantastic.
Yeah, so he can't have had much
He's in it.
influence on it besides financing. If he's
Yeah,
a producer, how does he
just
need?
financing it? Yeah.
Well, the
That's
producer is
confusing.
again the financer, and he could have some creative
Finance,
input,
yeah.
but there could be multiple producers, and his involvement might not have been very large. So
Maybe it was just to put his name on something.
anyway, for this quote, I sadly support it because this is what we deal with. A lot of people who think they buy a lot of merch and therefore they're fans, or they love a thing without being critical, or without having a critical mind. Let's just put it that way. You can like a thing for any dumb reason, but
It's a surface fanatic.
it's
So
almost surface level. Yeah.
So it's got creator credits for The Guardians of Justice, Castlevania, Captain Laserhawk, and Devil May Cry. And it looks like he's going to be an executive producer for Assassin's Creed.
Oh boy.
Good, I don't
Man,
care
that
about
franchise
that.
has had enough.
Yeah, that's one franchise we don't need any more of. That's true.
Yeah, well, it's already
At least
dead.
just for
Please
kids
stop.
not doing the music.
This is where you need the Simpsons gif of it's already dead. Where the burger thief,
Yeah,
you know
the
the one.
ham. It's not the Hamburglar, is it? It's
The Hamburglar?
no, I think that's McDonald's for Hamburglar.
Well, Ubisoft is its own beast, so let's just leave that topic alone. Anyway.
Not sure how you could spend all this money and still not get it, but you are a woman after all. Oh my god. At best, you're just obsessed with Dante's design. At worst, you're obsessed with how being a performative mega fan with disposable income or gifts from others validates you as a person, both validated by the existence of the show, neither dependent on how bad the show was. You're definitely just a consumer. I wouldn't call you a true fan. And as you can see, these comments are just like absolutely foul, and she made the terrible mistake of responding to a lot of these comments, which really just made the problem a lot worse. Somebody made a quote tweet of that.
Yeah, because this is how real fans play, right? And that's a video clip that we're not going to see.
I wanna.
Yeah.
I want to see this.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to play it,
This
though.
is how real fans play, right? And then showing some gameplay from one of her Twitch streams. And, like, I'll admit, the gameplay isn't really that good. But at the same time, it's like, damn, you, like, really went into somebody's Twitch stream, VOD, and then, like, scrolled through the whole thing to, like, try to find gameplay.
It doesn't matter if she's a good
You
gamer.
probably remembered this from watching the stream itself.
Yeah, but this is...
Yeah, but it's not... Yep.
This doesn't prove anything. It's just she could be awesome at the game, or she could suck at the game. Who cares?
No. Here's the point. This is rather an argument for she is there for the surface, for the style, for what the thing looks like, the atmosphere, not for the actual game itself. She's not there for the gameplay. She's there for the look.
Well, the point of these games is that you can be very, very good at them. And there's some amazing videos of people being like perfect playthroughs, and then there's some where people get by okay, and they get like rank S sometimes, but then all the time they do a lot of dodges, they get hit a lot. But that's the great thing about the game. You could learn, you can get better, and you can still pass it by being okay.
Motherfucker,
but
motherfucker! I literally played DMC1 on this very channel, and I ripped it to shreds.
yeah, but this is the thing. For the big fan that she supposedly is, she would play the game more and get automatically better than what was just on screen. The other thing is that she also doesn't really care about the writing, about the lore, because she's fine with the non-canon stuff, or rather the uncanoning of stuff done by Adi Shankar.
To me, that just
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. She did play Devil May Cry 5 for what? How many times has she played it up to that point? With the same skill level that I played the original Devil May Cry the first time I played it.
well, you see,
So you mean there's no
He
improvement?
plays it like I played DMC3.
I totally get what you guys are saying. Like, she hasn't improved, or her skill level is not as good as it could be. But it's the same with the knowledge of the gameplay as with the knowledge of storytelling. She just doesn't know storytelling very well, so she sees the things she likes it. And that's fine. You could like things for whatever quality.
Yeah, but that means she is only a mega fan of the looks of Dante as how he looks, not even of him as a character, because Adi Shankar's cartoon destroys Dante's character and competence.
Well, I'm comparing
Kabam!
it to her gameplay. I don't know exactly what she's arguing
say,
for lore.
Destroys his character, which only one other piece of DMC media has actually done. Can you guess what it is?
The only
What?
other
What'd you
non-game
say?
media?
What? I didn't hear what he said.
No, the one other piece of media aside from the Adi Shankar cartoon to destroy Dante's character is the reboot.
Arguably, that was one reference I think they made to his hair, right?
No,
Yeah,
just in
the not in a million years
no,
thing.
just in general.
Oh, the idea of just rebooting it.
Yeah, honestly,
People
and the
didn't-
results that we got from that.
That'd be
So-
interesting. Did she care? Did she actually like DMC the fourth one? Did she care about?
DMC4.
Well, the one that came in between 4 and 3, because that's when the reboot happened. So, did she care about the reboot?
No, the reboot.
no.
The reboot was 4 and 5.
Is it 4 and 5? I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, did she say, "Oh, I still like Dante with black hair and blah blah blah. I like that version"? Like, did she say that? Is that like?
I hope not.
Did she say she loved 2? Like, what? Like, this is kind of pertinent information to know about for your fan.
At least 2 is canon, and it contributes to the series all the way up to DMC5.
Right.
So
At least DMC2 improved something from DMC1, which is
Right.
also found in DMC3, which is the mission ranking system.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the game is just not very well put together, that it's basically unbalanced.
well, gameplay wise, that's what modding is for.
Yeah, I compare this to like fans of the Final Fantasy series, which have various similar qualities, but the stories are always different. And all the fans I know of, the ones that really got into the 90s and 2000s games, they always say 6 is their favorite. Always. There's no. I've never met someone who did not say 6 is not the best to them, not in terms of technicality or.
Still argue 4.
Oh yeah, no. There's SNES era, etc. It always comes down to that because they love the character so much, and the limited time that the storytelling worked with the system to pull that off was just sufficient for them to catch on and say, and there was like 14 characters. There's so many. It's like, this is hard to pull off. But for whatever reason, the music worked, the pacing worked, the gameplay was just enough to streamline to get everything cleaned up compared to like 5, which had like all kinds of gameplay options. So it was this weird mix of everything just working together. And people just got that whether they realized that or not. And that's why 6 resonates so well. 7 resonated because of the PSX. Because it was the new cool thing. It had cutscenes. It had 3D real-time. Not 3D real-time. It had pre-rendered cutscenes that were just higher grade quality graphics. So
Granted, if you did play 7, you'd realise that it has a story that's arguably better than 6.
yes.
The gameplay is it's as complex and customizable as 5.
Yeah, the game or the story in 7 is very, very similar to 6. They're all very similar in general, but because of the closeness to what 6 and 7 were, It's like, yeah, this is another evil empire. Want to take over the world, and there's all these beasts throughout the planet. So they they streamlined it again to cut back on all the characters, focus the story, have a main character that does this, a main villain that does that, and look at the villain. Look at the they have the same villain in 6 and 7, essentially, at least the last bosses. So there's a lot to talk about when you have all these games, and they're all very different in their own way. I wouldn't say DMC is too different. The format's the same. They just keep adding more options for gameplay and combinations that you never thought would work that way. Especially with like the
I'm
weapons.
very close to derailing the conversation with what you're saying about Final Fantasy VII.
I'm not trying to say one is superior. Just all the fans that I have talked to personally, in person, meaning, say, why did you like this game? They say it's always a favorite, even though they know that the graphics are not as good as the later games. 6 is always their favorite. They always go back to it.
So the final boss of Final Fantasy VII is actually it's basically a quick time event.
I'm trying to remember.
He's talking about when Cloud is in the live stream with Sephiroth.
Not Safe or Sephiroth, something else. Okay.
Yeah, afterward.
You mash the attack button and then
the 1v1 that actually finishes the game.
Okay, I see what you mean. All right.
Live stream has a different meaning today than it had in the 90s.
Yeah. Anyway, this is the questions we asked.
I guess the tie back to the skill thing, since this is DMC, 5 is probably one of the easiest games to is the easiest game to S rank, since the only qualifier is just get this threshold of style points. DMC had the time and collect orbs, which was informed by how well you did in combat. And then it would be 4, then 3, then 2. But 2 is only the hardest to get a perfect S rank run because of it being so poor.
Really?
Yeah.
My game was always 3, so I thought that was pretty good to get S ranks on 3. But okay, that's cool. Didn't know that. Whew. All right. 5 minutes in.
It's like when you actually think about it. She's gone to other lengths to like prove she's a real fan. She says, "Hello there, here's a clip of me beating Dante Must Die in DMC 1 a few months ago. Do you have any videos of yourself that I can watch to help me improve my gameplay? Sounds like you could help me out." And then shows like some gameplay of her basically doing what she described. And a lot of the comments...
Okay, I would just say increase the difficulty if you're not at maximum yet, because that forces you.
Well,
DMD is the hardest
exactly.
in DMC 1.
Yeah, it is hard.
And yeah,
but this isn't even her beating the game. This is the penultimate boss fight, since there's still Mundus at the basement of the castle.
Do you know at which difficulty she's playing at?
She claims Dante Must Die.
Yeah.
She claims the hardest.
So the clip just now didn't look like that at all.
No.
That was 5, I thought.
Yeah, that was 5. Well,
yeah, but even it depending, regardless of game, it didn't look like any hard mode.
That's true. DMC does get rather wild, but that did not look like a very complicated fight she was in. So anyway, if she says she can do it, good for her. I'm not, I don't really care. Doesn't change the argument.
Are still like super negative, bro. So here's my take on all of this, right? I have a few things to say. First thing I want to say is like, bro, if this shit is happening to you, the worst possible thing you can do is respond to it, because responding to it just perpetuates it and it just makes it worse. The next thing is that what I think a lot of these people who are, what I'm assuming were probably super sweaty at this game don't realize is that they're a very small minority of the whole player base and like the entire community around the game. Like, you realize the reason that you're considered good at...
Okay, so there might be a very small minority, but they are the very people that have kept it alive to this day.
Yeah, the very people who keep playing it. And if you play for long enough, you will automatically get better. Unless you are really only casualing it and only there for the surface look. And doing cosplay at least the way she does. I know enough cosplayers who are there for substance of the things that they cosplay. They are real deep fans. They care about the lore. They care about the characters. She has admitted that she doesn't, because you need, like, you care about the game, then you care about you also get good at the game. You care about the lore, and then you would care about the lore. And in both cases, you probably wouldn't care about Adi Shankar, what he did to the thing.
Well, you at least
you
be
would be-
aware of the changes in the lore of the latest edition of whatever anime, whatever you make.
You would take more issue than nitpicking.
Well, yeah, you'd say this is different. Is it good or bad? You'd analyze the argument from adaptation. Say, okay, this was changed because of some good reason, and you have to explain why that's a good thing or a bad thing. And if you determine it's bad, then you say, okay, there's a problem. And if you can't do that, then there's something wrong with this person's either critical thinking or they just don't know the lore.
Yeah, I would say the following, because there's then a point between the casual and the malicious tourist, which you call the colonizer, and that is the simple tourist, which is what she is. She's a non-malicious tourist because she's not we haven't seen her actively push the ideological shaping. She's just okay with it.
Well, she is at least trying to promote her gameplay skills, but she's already stated her lack of lore and knowledge of the character and setting. So
and care about that because she's
Yeah,
fine
exactly.
with the rewriting of it.
It's like
in a negative way.
It's like reading a comic book of Devil May Cry, and the art sucks, and the characters are nothing like the way they should, and still liking it because it's Devil May Cry, like we had with Mass Effect, with the Yara becoming a superhero, and the art suck, absolutely garbage. The storytelling is made by the main writer of Mass Effect 3. It's like everything about this is trash, but it came free with the game or whatever. They're like, oh, thanks.
There is a DMC comic that's like that, but it changes some of the events from the first game, but it was never finished.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like Nello Angelo can speak comprehensibly. Trish is more involved with the story.
Pretty sure
I
the
didn't read the whole thing.
Pretty sure the DMC 1 book got retconned out by the actual anime.
All right, we are.
It probably did. I didn't watch the Madhouse anime.
It was pretty good. It's better than the bullshit we got now.
Not surprised.
Because you're above the average skill level. It's because you're more skilled than the average player.
So you're saying the master chef knows when the amateur chef sucks at his job? Wow, it's amazing. How could they possibly know that?
What an observation!
Means most people aren't as skilled as you. If you're good at the game, it's because most other people aren't as skilled as you.
What? What?
Oh.
No, it's because
No,
you're
if you're
good.
skilled at the game, it's
really,
because
that's
you
what's
understand how it works. You have fast reflexes. You know how the enemy works. You know how your inputs work.
Yeah, it has
You know
nothing
what
to
the
do
frame count is.
with the rest of the universe. It has everything to do with you being good at the game very, very well.
Yeah, and
What
if
a
you beat
weird-
the game on the hardest difficulty, you will automatically have better gaming skills than she has displayed.
Yeah, that's like saying I'm better at racing against 2-year-olds in a 100-meter dash.
Yay.
It's like, what?
So if I break Usain Bolt's legs and then break the legs of a bunch of other sprinters, I go to sprint against them.
Yeah.
I'm the only one with working legs.
You're the best racer in the world. Yeah, exactly.
Suddenly, I'm going to break Usain Bolt's record because I'm capable of sprinting 100 meters in about a minute.
Great logic. This is fantastic. I love it.
Best in the world. World
So
record.
knowing this and like actually using our brains a little bit, you know that
Oh.
most of the people that play these games are bad, right? 95%.
Wait. You think?
Wait, how do we quantify bad? And we can't even get those metrics because it's a single player game. There's no like world record. There's no global ranking like a Call of Duty game.
Keep in mind, those the tourist and the fan, the one is number 1 and 2. They both have passed the game, so they must have solved the problems of the bosses,
Past the story mode, you mean?
Well,
They've played through the story.
even
okay.
I was in the lowest setting on 3. I got stuck on Cerberus so many times. I got pissed off.
And then for most of the series,
Well, you were on normal mode for the original launch.
Well, they kept decreasing the difficulty, even though the AI was exactly the same. I was like, what?
And then there's a little something called Bloody Palace.
Yeah,
So
I've never beaten the Bloody Palace.
It's basically a gauntlet mode.
The closest thing we can have to a comparison for this 95% 5% thing is would be to look at achievements and see how many people have unlocked the achievement for beating the games on the hardest difficulty.
Yes, and that is his category 3. That's not 5%. That's under 1%.
Ginga, you've beaten the HD collection on the hardest difficulty. How many people have that achievement, percentage-wise?
Of the people, you look it up on Steam. I just want to say, from my experience, the people who've done that in a game is usually 0.2% of the people who bought the game. It's the tiniest fraction.
Of the people who play these games are in these other 2 categories and aren't in the sweat category. These are quite literally the people that are keeping the game alive. So to like go on the internet and insult somebody like this just shows like just low intelligence. People come.
What? How? Why? What do you? What does low intelligence have to do with telling someone off when you're the most skilled person in the room, saying you don't know what you're talking about? How is that low intelligence? Wouldn't that be?
How dare the black belt tells the white belt that he's shit?
Yeah, how can the master player tell the other amateur player they're not as good as they are? Gee, what a dumb person.
Playing been a new Devil May Cry game in so long, but then when people buy a whole bunch of merch for the game and play it regularly and show interest in it, they get angry. It's like
no, they're not angry. They're just pointing out what's happening. They're calling it out for what it is. A fake fan or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that kind of person cares about another aspect. And hey, somebody who buys all the merch, that's good for the studio. They get money through that. Great. Keeps it alive. But don't talk about the crap imitation stuff like what Adi Shankar makes, because that is effectively its product fraud.
Doesn't even mean that they'll make a game. Remember, DMC4 and 5 time gap was 11 years from release.
Well, Sony is
you don't count the special edition then?
Well, the special edition was an update, I believe, because they were starting development for 5.
It was to see if people were still interested in the old series, which I'm pretty sure it did end up selling better than the reboot's re-release.
Sony is celebrating that they're releasing new Ape Escape merchandise. They did that this week, and we haven't had an Ape Escape game for about 20 years.
Just about 20 years. Ape Escape 3 was 2005.
This is just like low IQ stuff. Yourself better than this person at the game. It means that at some point you had to have passed their skill level. Like, think about that. If you're better than this person at the game, it means you were once as good as them. So when you were as good at the game as this person, would you like it if somebody went like online and literally put your gameplay on blast in front of like millions of people and insulted you? It's like just doing that to somebody.
If I cared about my skill level, and if I cared about getting really good at the game, yes.
I'm not seeing the inherent problem here.
Know I'm doing bad.
Yeah, this is like saying I'm better than this person, or I know more than this person. Here's the reason why. What's wrong with that? It's not like you're having a scientific argument on a hypothesis that you fundamentally disagree with. You're like, well, my paper did this 2 years ago, and this is wrong, blah, blah, blah. No, it's just, hey, you think this is a good thing. Here's the reasons why it's not. I know better than you do. You have not contemplated these concepts. You've not addressed the lore issues. you don't know how to fight to get S rank or whatever the heck this is. She's just standing there firing the guns. That's not going to give you much, if not anything. Yeah. What's the problem here?
Just doing that to somebody is super rude, and it's just honest.
Oh, it's rude. Yeah, it is rude, but it's also honest.
Being
Welcome
dishonest
to the
is wrong.
internet.
Community, like shit like this, believe it or not, has a huge impact.
Dude, what Adi Shankar does is rude.
Impacts on people perceive this game. This shit got 2 million views.
So because there are fans who know how to play the game very well telling fans who don't know how to play the game as well what's what, you're giving the fandom a bad how are they giving the fandom a bad look? Get good is the definition of these games.
Buying a lot of merch is not proof that you're good. It's like it's like anyone who's just posing. You can drape yourself in that. Like, there are people who buy it seriously for because they really are into the thing and it's fulfilling them. But there's also people who are worse frauds than she is, who really only buy the stuff to appear as if being a fan.
Well,
I believe that she is a fan of the aesthetic and of Dante, but that doesn't go very deep.
Yeah, I think that's the concept of the game, because it is supposed to be stylish. The lore, the storytelling is not supposed to be as deep as it should be or could be. Whereas a game like Elden Ring, there's all kinds of lore, there's all kinds of strategies, there's all kinds of things you can do. It's more of an RPG in that regard to facilitate being good. So the concept of get good in Elden Ring is a very deep response from how you play the game. In DMC, it's like, how fast can you connect things? How many different combinations? How fast can you switch stances and weapons to get style points? The whole point is style. That's the whole point of this game, to get the better ranks. And once you get into that groove of how to juggle, how to do stances, how to switch quickly, how to switch weapons properly, and which combinations to use, then you say, okay, now I know how to handle this enemy type or this boss. And
it's a dance.
It's very stylistic. I know that's a bad thing to say. It's kind of obvious. But there is a certain way to play DMC the same way there's a certain way to play a character in Street Fighter. So it's kind of like, yeah, you could play Street Fighter as Chun-Li, but not everyone's Chun-Li. You can't just assume that for Blanca or whomever.
A very good analogy considering they're both from the same company.
Oh yeah, Capcom. Yeah.
Consider that this entire problem we're talking about is the hello fellow kids meme. That is what a tourist is.
Kinda.
What do you do, fellow kids?
Sort of, yeah.
For someone
This
who
post-
has 1 million subs, he sure emphasizes the 2 million views part on Twitter. 2 million views is not that hard to get on Twitter.
Yeah, even his response is like, well, it's mean. It's like, I don't care if the truth hurts.
Don't be mean to the girl.
I don't care if someone doesn't understand lore. I don't care how ignorant someone is. I don't care how much of a fangirl or a fanboy you are. This means nothing. Is this person accurate? Do they have reason and evidence to support their opinion? And if so, where is it? If it's just, I love DMC, look at all my merch, look at me play the game, aren't I fun? It's like, your merch is kind of tacky. You don't need all that junk. And your gameplay is not very good. The fact that she asked for help is kind of like her nice way of saying, I'm a fan. I don't want to start fights.
No, I think that was sort of a condescending way.
It's a
Yeah. Kind of. I would say it's partially that as well. But I'm sure she actually just wants to talk about positive things because she can't handle all the negativity.
And again, like I said,
I beat the game on the hardest difficulty, so why don't you tell me how I can do better than that?
That's literally
do what
playing
Matthew
and get
Matosis
better
did and do a
scores
no
and die
damage
less.
run.
Yeah.
Matthew Matosis.
Yeah, he did. His whole commentary was a no damage run of DMC on DMD.
Oh,
Dante must die, aka the highest difficulty.
I'm
and
positive
he's someone who
created at
only
least a
cares
couple
about
of people that are never going.
only cares about the gameplay. He doesn't care about the story at all. Which is why he liked Bayonetta 3, where I disagree on the gameplay stuff, but I can respect to ignore all the story and character destruction and just focusing on the mechanics by themselves. I can respect that.
Going to try double because they think they're just going to get ridiculed for being bad at it, or they just see it as like some sweaty nerdy game for just fucking virgin losers. Like that's not good. That's not a good look. Another thing too.
why?
Oh, he made.
Is Devil May Cry a game for virgin losers?
I need to hear that again. Sorry. So he's making now. The girl is being attacked. Don't be mean to the girl. You are virgins if you are mean to the girl.
No, he's saying that the DMC fandom will have a lower social credit score if they are mean to the girl for having a bad opinion on a TV show.
Yeah, but that's the same. Well, it is the same thing. He's making the incel argument for, hey, here's some emotional extortion. I'm gonna white knight for the girl. You are a nice guy.
Oh.
Nice guys don't get married.
Well,
He
if
said
you
something
want,
about
I could tell you something about him. So shortly after he turned 18, there was this girl in a Discord who got in a Discord with them who was 16. They started messaging. And I think they were, like, I think they did meet in real life, but that was... Anyway, the important part is that he would eventually receive a video of her and her ex. You can infer what I mean by that, but it's funny because he liked the girl.
Oh god, drama.
So he is also, in a way, a cuck.
Teenage drama.
So he's a groomer and a cook.
Anyway. Keep on going.
Horny teenager.
That I'm gonna try Devil May Cry now because they think they're just gonna get ridiculed for being bad at it, or they just see it as like some sweaty nerdy game for just fucking virgin losers. Like that.
Oh, okay. So
exactly?
yeah, it did say the part that we're looking for. So they see it as some kind of game for some kind of sweaty game for virgin losers.
Or not has a huge impact on the way people perceive this game. This shit got 2 million views. This post, I'm positive, created at least a couple of people that are never going to try Devil May Cry now because they think they're just going to get ridiculed for being bad at it, or they just see it as like some sweaty nerdy game for just fucking virgin losers.
No.
Like that's not good. That's not a...
Okay, now I understand what he was saying. Thank you. I disagree.
It's supposition.
Because every gamer understands get good.
If you see the first DMC, like, was it 15, 20 years ago? At least?
2001.
Yeah. You go, wow, that's cool. And you want to play them all. If you are that kind of gamer. So no, it's not going to stop anyone from playing them.
So
yeah. And look at real
If the first thing you see of the gameplay is that woman's stream, her playing like that, and she insists that she did play it on the hardest difficulty and is really good at it. Yeah, it doesn't look like a really engaging game. It doesn't really look all that challenging. It just looks kind of rubbish, actually. But if you see people calling her out on it, saying that she's obviously not as good as she claims to be, and doubting her, her claims to having played it on the hardest difficulty.
That's right.
That might make people who are looking for a challenge actually interested in it, as opposed to her footage.
Yeah, this is not a game where you stand around and hit the attack button once a second. I'm sorry. It's nonsense.
Well, if you'd want a challenge from a DMC game, I wouldn't recommend playing 5. I'd probably say 1 and 3 are the best for a challenge.
Accent, it's called modding.
Yeah,
Honestly,
but still,
I
still
know,
on a hard,
but it's
still
still a
on a
game.
hard difficulty, you would still move around more.
the best DMC game to play for a challenge is DMC 2. See how long you can play it before you lose without losing the will to live.
That's not fair.
I like jumping in the
I-
air for 6 seconds, just flailing my arms.
Guy who actually has played the series. That's not fair.
Look, the thing is, there are actual girl gamers that we saw out there who did get really good at the games that they played, whether that's Dodger or Gorgura, and it's just a delight watching them improve or just being amazing at the level they're already at. And well, this is not one of them. She's therefore dressing like the character she wants to bang. That's it.
Too, I'm almost positive that this would have had a lower likelihood of happening if this was a man and not a woman. A lot of dudes don't really like
fuck
to see
you,
women play
Zero.
video games
Fuck
they like.
you.
That's like a
no.
whole other.
If it were a man, the majority of messages, if it were a man, would have been kill yourself. Please kill yourself.
Get good.
Nobody who plays a game this badly should be allowed to live.
You can't argue. You can't make that argument with this series because the entire point of it is to play, and it is to play the game to the point where you can rip it to shreds.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I literally played DMC1 on this channel and did that very thing.
Well,
Don't do a DSP.
hopefully this is a focus on gameplay, not lore. We would not
Yeah,
put high storytelling standards.
It's gameplay. It's
Yeah.
gameplay.
Same with
I was gonna-
Castlevania. You don't put too
Because I
much
was-
weight in these types of games. It's the gameplay. It's the exploration. It's the fun.
Yeah, but Devil May Cry and Castlevania do have a decent amount of lore as well.
The lore is not focused on a narrative in terms of drama and comedy and what you would take out of a journey.
It kinda is.
Well, though there are definitely elements and there are definitely scenes where we talk about their lives and their families, etc. But
It's not irrelevant to the point that you can just rewrite it at will.
it's not this, there's large swaths of gameplay, there's large swaths of comedy, and then we have drama, and it's very melodramatic. It goes away.
Yeah, but look, smart. You know what the Adi Shankar cartoon did?
Which one?
The one Adi Shankar just made about DMC.
I haven't watched, so I don't know.
So one of the defining things it does is it invents a strong woman character who looks a bit like Oni from the Banshee game,
Okay.
and just in a horrible way. And she simply just headshot insta kills a demon that Dante had probably problems killing.
Oh wait, Wisp. Lady is from
Is
the
that Lady?
games, specifically
She's from the games?
DMC3.
Yeah, she's from DMC3.
Yeah, but she's horribly changed.
Oh, is that
her
why you
backstory
recognize
is-
her? I thought she looked like Oni.
Yeah, well, she's supposed to be in like a schoolgirl uniform because she's innocent, unlike Trish, where she's
Well,
at
she's
least
in a
design-wise the biker girl.
accent. She's in a school uniform in DMC3 because she is a schoolgirl in that story.
Oh, and now she's Mary Sue.
Yes,
She
the girl
evolved.
who
She-
could
she-
never get a upper hand on Dante.
She digitated.
Well,
I mean, the boss fight against her it looked a bit annoying.
Well, I remember two major things from her. She doesn't speak much. She has a rocket launcher, and the thing I hate most in all of anime is heterochromia. So it's like, it's kind of
Yeah.
hard. Kind of hard to forget that shit. So it's like, whatever, just keep going. There's not a big.
It's a good sign you're dealing with SJWs and authorities.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
It is.
No.
Unfortunately, Lady existed and had heterochromia before the.
Well, that's
Adi Shankar.
probably why Shankar honed in on her.
Lady always had Lady always had that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. That's probably why he honed in on her, because it's a thing that stands out that I love. It's a special trait that you have in all the character things now, character creators now, because these people just love it. There's another strange thing. a surprising number of people with ADHD that I personally know also completely over-design characters that they make with things like heterochromia and 6 sets of horns and all it's just overload.
A demon arm with Nero.
5 demon arms.
That would.
No, he just has one.
I mean,
No, what I mean is that these people just say, here's special trade. Let's do it for times 5.
well, this is the
what they
thing
do.
with Devil May Cry. It's supposed to be flashy. It's supposed to be stylized and designed purely for effect. It's supposed to be the dangling keys.
By Hideki Kamiya's own admission, and he created the damn series. The entire point of how to play the game is to play stylishly. It is to play at the highest level so that you impress other people. If you play any game in this series like shit, you are guaranteed to be mocked regardless of who you are.
The concept of the B movie or the style for effect as opposed to substance is like style is number one. Everything else is secondary. So that's where you sort of get these, the schoolgirl with the missile launcher and the heterochromia, and she's kind of quiet. It's like, all right, I get.
She uses the missile launcher like a jetpack.
It's kind of silly. And she's rocket jumping everywhere. Yeah, it's kind of silly.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's
It's
okay.
goofy.
That's
It's
cool.
fun.
Yeah.
But that's
I don't
the
remember
point.
her using it as a jetpack.
Oh,
She did have a
does
rocket
rocket.
Then she fires a rocket at Dante from it, and he uses it as a makeshift hoverboard.
Yeah.
That's something these games, all the way to Bayonetta, do constantly.
So same creator.
Yeah, look, but Bayonetta does 3 fights on top of a rocket, or was it 5? There's an entire level that's on top of
Jumping off rockets. Yeah.
riding up a really long rocket on a motorbike.
I think that's the one where you play as Jean going all the way to Jubileus.
Yeah. All the way through.
Anyway.
Like bag of fucking potatoes to get into and explain why that is. But a lot of dudes that play video games don't like to see women playing the same games.
We don't
I
care.
don't think this would have happened or
That's a lie.
at least been this bad if this was a dude. Like just because it's a girl,
No, we
there's so many
don't
people
care.
in the comment sections assuming that she doesn't actually like the game and is just like sexually attracted to Dante, and that's the only reason she's interested in it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much.
Even if she
that
wasn't,
is what
we
these
don't.
girls do.
Even if she wasn't,
Do you
it's-
know
Literally
women
what these
zero?
girls do. There's a cluster B Zelda fangirls who are only into Zelda because Link is so cute, huh?
it
And
doesn't.
then they just name drop things like Heart Piece and Triforce to pretend that they're actually into the thing to impress you and make you believe that you're actually talking with a fan, but most of them never played the games or just played them so superficially that just forget about
I
it.
remember.
The newest batch of those the newest batch of those people don't even know the term Heart Piece or Triforce because Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. Yeah, the heart pieces don't exist in Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild. Is the,
I know.
Yeah, and neither does the Triforce. That's not mentioned at all.
Well, I do remember
So,
the what was it
Hey.
DMC 3 or 4, I can't remember which one it was, but someone did a cross section of Tom Cruise's face with Dante, and everything pretty much lines up symmetrically. So Dante was
Might have
Dante
been 4.
was it 4? Yeah, I can't remember.
Or might have been.
It was designed to, like, everything about the game is designed to look as good as possible. The character
Wait,
design,
Dante-
the tax.
Dante is short, right?
I don't know exactly his height. I don't think he's that short. So either way, he defies physics in multiple levels. So whether he is visually gorgeous is just part of the many other things that are designed to look good, to sound good, to feel good as you bounce around.
I was gonna ask whose height.
Dante.
Dante,
He's 6'5".
Oh my God! Really?
Oh, okay.
5, and how tall is Tom Cruise?
5'8". I think.
Yeah.
He's a shorty. So why I was asking and confused.
I was the face.
But yeah,
it's-
Dante needs to be
basically-
able to dance with Bayonetta.
She's like 6. No, she's like 7'2" or something stupid like that.
No, she's also 6 something.
She's giant. She's huge.
Yeah.
Anyway. Fantasy characters. Fun stuff.
All the people in her world are.
Bayonetta is 8 foot.
8 foot?
What?
Oh. Yeah, she's gigantic.
No.
Yeah, she's
But
huge.
the people, but all the people in Bayonetta's world are, because Luca is still taller than her.
Okay. So apparently 5'9" without heels and 6'1" with heels.
No, she's way taller than that.
No, Bayonetta is way over 6 feet. She's over 2 meters.
I don't
She's
know
like
the actual
Samus.
height.
Samus is 6'3".
Yeah, and Bayonetta is like Samus Aran.
There's one guy taking piss saying that she's 4'2".
Oh,
That's just somebody who has a fetish.
that's Anyway, not important.
Probably her
all I
Smash
have to
Brothers height.
I just
because
wanted
they
to
chopped off
address
her
this
legs.
because it's like this shit is just fucking gross. It just really sucks to
Yeah, you're inventing a
Gross.
strongman for no reason.
see. Like, this person put up posts literally asking people for advice. Like, this person wants to get better at the game and is
No. She's trying to
they?
deal with the fallout of her original post.
Yeah, it's damage control.
And she's saying, "Hey guys, look at me. I'm a gamer too. Don't you want to be as? How do I get as good as you?" That's it.
just meant but just ridicule. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the pinned comment and the description to Brukawaru's socials if you want to go follow her. I just feel really bad. This shouldn't really happen to any.
I feel so bad for the poor girl who got dogpiled because of her stupid post. That's great. Okay.
Zero, your emotional attachment to women is a bit of a problem. You should fix that.
Grow out of it now. It will save you a lot of trouble.
All right. Let's go to the.
Well, he's
news.
20.
Oh, yeah.
There's still
Yeah.
time, I think.
Yeah, well.
No,
My
he
two
should grow. He should
suggestions-
grow out of it now and have children.
Oh God. Anyway.
So
don't
my
crazy.
two suggestions for Zero: go for women who are older, and make sure they feel available to you.
Why is that a good idea?
Remember,
What, you
So
want to do
you remember
Hackmax
that last
already?
no, you remember that last one? She was only 16.
Anyway, streaming.
Stream memes. Here we go. Simping for the
that's the
DMC
one.
anime to own the chuds. I don't know if that's even an option.
You skipped mine,
I did.
which was the point we talked about at the start of the stream.
Oh, this is a tweet.
Yeah, but it's relevant to the conversation.
Here are the numbers for the DMC HD Collection and DMC 5 on Steam. A massive increase since the anime dropped, and I've been seeing people who never played the games before say they understand why fans are so upset at the adaptation. That tells you something right there.
Yeah, the one on the left is the HD collection. Look at that massive jump. Over 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
From not even 2,000.
And now that the anime, how many episodes are the anime? It just started anyway, so
Adi Shankar does
they're
not
8.
make anime.
thank you.
Quality
It's
cut.
8 episodes, and every title is a reference to something. Like, first episode is called Inferno because part 1 of the Divine Comedy.
Oh.
So the last episode is also called Paradise because of the Divine Comedy. Episode 2 is called Our Lady of Sorrows because, get it, the Virgin Mary. I don't know what the rest of the episodes are except for 4, but it's also kind of a dyslexic reference because it's supposed to be abandon all hope, not all hope abandoned, because it's the DMC4 death screen.
I mean, it's a pun. Aha.
Anyway, this is the same thing that happened with Cyberpunk, I believe. The difference is Cyberpunk actually had really good anime. So, in fact, people liked the anime more than the game. Some people made the argument it was that good. So
You know what? There is something that the shitty cartoon actually does do that's a genuine insult to anyone that cares about the Devil May Cry series, and it's the way they tackle the Sparta backstory. Who here has
Don't remind me.
Who here has seen that?
Don't do it. I know what the
For
White
those-
Rabbit says, and it's fucking atrocious.
For those
I want
posting and
Adi
streaming,
Shankar to
someone
die.
for those posting and streaming, someone find that quick. I know
All
it's
right.
been on. I know it's on Twitter.
let's keep going. Simping for the DMC anime to own the chuds. Again, I don't think that's a real option. Hating the DMC anime because the creator likes Asmongold? What? What does that have to do with anything?
I wouldn't even believe
the
Shankar for one
the
bit.
left hates Asmongold because he calls out some bullshit. Not all of it. He's blind to some things,
All right.
but he's getting there.
Shankar's willing to hop on any train so long as it gets him popularity.
All right.
And he can ruin it.
DMC fans,
Because
learn
he's like Ryan Johnson.
the Lord of Hell has a high probability of expressing the emotion known as sadness.
Devil May Cry. Yeah, it's a play on words.
Okay, DMC, demons are corporate overlord. Yeah. DMC, no, demons are Arabs?
Yes.
Yes, they
Demons are Muslims, which isn't wrong.
Is
for
that what
season 2, they're probably going to indulge in the whole war on Iraq, military-industrial complex.
Wait, what?
Smud, you know who Arius is from DMC2, right?
I do.
From two
He
is a
shows
blur.
up.
2 is a blur, man.
Why?
Arius is the guy who is the main bad who wants to summon a demon to get its power.
Okay.
Yeah,
He also created Lucia, who's also in the show but never shows up again.
Oh,
yeah,
you're kidding.
Arius is the CEO of a mega corporation that somehow managed to tap into the power of the demon world, and he used that to create artificial demons.
Oh,
Yes, the Ouroboros company.
okay.
The
'cause
Ouroboros company.
I
exactly.
do remember Lucia. I think she's a playable
Biggest
character
failure.
in
Yeah,
Okay,
In
great.
2, yeah.
that's also another good thing about DMC2, having multiple characters on launch.
Yeah.
Anyway, DMC the first. You're both wrong. Demons are demons. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Phantom. No, it's Griffin. Griffin is, at least in character, the naive servant of Mundus, because when he is murdered by Mundus, he believes that Mundus will give him strength, but Mundus murders him because he failed. So demons do have human quality, but
I mean, hell, Sparta himself, who saved humanity 2,000 years ago.
Well, here's our next
fell in
meme.
love with what was the mother called? Eve.
Eva.
So I fell in love with Eva, and they had 2 sons together.
Okay. Let's keep on going. Here's. I don't mind this Freyrin reference, but I want her
Freyrin may
smile. I want her to be happy. she likes killing demons. She's never gonna cry. Anyway, maidens that I've rescued on the internet.
Maidens that I've rescued on the internet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 full power, so that's 37. Rescued maidens that have rewarded me with sex.
0.
None.
Oh, I missed the Frieren meme.
All right.
Freyrin maker.
Here's my my favorite character in the whole of DMC. There's the swear jar is already full. Lady swear
There's
jar.
no fucking way.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's so awkward too. Every time she does it, it's it's so bad.
She swears in the anime?
You want to know how? You want to know?
Fucking is like the most said word of the anime because of Lady.
What?
You want to know?
Lady?
You know? I was gonna say. You want to know how? You want to actually gauge how the actual DMC games, how mature they actually are. There's barely any swearing across any of the 5 games. Barely any swearing.
Yeah, but
Almost
Shankar
none.
can't do without.
That's my point.
And that's like it's like the a lot of these the SJW creators, all they mistake swearing for humor. Oh, he said fuck! Ha 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 ha.
That's
The
okay.
reboot couldn't do without it either.
I remember her not saying barely anything in DMC3, and for her to do that in this is one of those things where you have character assassination by virtue of dialogue, not because the dialogue is good or bad or different. It's because she doesn't even have much, if at all, in the games, and for her to have suddenly it in the anime is
she has plenty in 3.
I barely remember it. It's just
I'll go play the game.
I'm gonna have to.
So I'm going to count how many there are. So there's the one cutscene in the end of mission 6, the beginning of mission 7, beginning of mission 9, end of mission 9, end of mission 10, beginning of mission 11.
Needless to say, there's a lot. There is a
End of mission 13, beginning of mission 14. Then it's her boss fight at mission 17. No, it's 16. And then it's her final encounter with Arkham.
And then the start
And
then the start and end of mission 20.
Yes.
And what I hate about this show the most is that unironically Dante's actual design is one of the best he's had in the entire franchise. It's too bad that it's tied to this craptastic show. Just waiting. I'm just going to be waiting for someone to mod it into DMC 5.
Oh, the art style?
No, Dante's design specifically in the show.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the best he's ever had. It's like
I think DMC 1 is the best.
Like, in my opinion, the show is basically a hybrid between his design in 4 and his design in 5. And I'm just like, someone please mod it into DMC 5 already. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he's voice acted by Nero, of all people.
What?
There's also,
that's
also
the name.
DMC4 and the HD collection.
So they got the voice actor for Nero to be the voice actor for Dante.
Because Dante's voice had retired, supposedly, from voice acting by this point.
Okay, fair, I guess.
Which part of it was because of the shit that happened during Street Fighter 6's release, where he had made some posts defending Gina Carano during the whole damn case with Disney.
Really?
And that's why he didn't voice Ken again in Street Fighter 6.
Huh. Interesting.
And then supposedly him not getting the role of Dante for this show is the reason why he retired for good. Which, good. We don't need this tarnishing his legacy.
Yeah.
Whew.
In that case, yes.
All right. Well, you did actually provide a super chat. I just checked on it right now. I have no idea what has to do with Synthetic Man and how he responded to Zero. So I don't know.
Well, this was... So he was the kid that Synth responded to. That's the only way you'd ever know him from before.
Huh. Interesting. Well,
so the moral of the story is get good at the game you're supposed to get good in.
yeah.
And understand the games you're talking about, please.
Not just the game you're supposed to get good in, the game that is designed for you to get good in. If you play this series like shit, then you deserve all the mockery that comes with that.
Yeah, I don't think you can cheese DMC. You can sort of cheese Elden Ring because there's lots of exploits, but DMC is like all about timing. Like you can't mess that up.
Learn to dance.
I mean,
there are some
Devil May
things you
Cry.
can do to cheese it, but not
Devil May
really
Cry.
on the harder difficulties.
DMC is the originator of the character action genre. Of course, there's going to be emphasis on those attributes.
In the original Devil May Cry, you can use items without punishment.
Yeah, but then later starting with DMC3, the games are designed in a way where if you're good at the game, items are pointless.
DMC2.
Did you not hear what I said?
Yeah, but that comes from DMC2.
Well, DMC2 has issues, but I'll at least take it over the reboot on this crap show.
All right.
It did start the whole thing, though.
Anyway, thanks guys. That was a interesting video to cover. I do like when we talk about fandoms in general and then have very bad examples of fandoms, and then we have someone try to defend some outlier in said the Twitter sphere or whatever you wanted to call it that this fandom is from, and getting the wrong fan reaction than you should because it's a girl and he was defending. It's just like, dude, who cares? Does it matter who it is? Does she have a
No,
does she
for
have
this
a-
series, of course it fucking doesn't matter who it is with this fucking series.
Anyway, have a good Friday, guys.
Play the games. Even if they're not on sale, play the games. Buy the games, play them.
Have a wonderful
Even DMC2.
Have a wonderful Easter where you're happy that whatever religion you believe in, everyone's enjoying their family time.
Nope, egg rolling is only for Christians and pagans.
Well,
hey,
good enough.
Roll the eggs down the hill.
Works for me. Whatever you got going at your household, try to have a good time. We'll probably be busy this weekend. I know I'll be busy, so probably no videos to cover. But weather's also really wacky past few days, so whew. Some of us do not have power, believe it or not. So that's a weird story there.
Some of us?
Yeah, some not just necessarily me, but throughout the week when it flickered on.
You mean electricity or politically?
Well, we haven't had power in Canada for about 6 months now. So yeah, we're screwed. But we do have elections.
So the answer is yes.
Yes.
Hey, we haven't had any since Merkel.
Oh God, really? Okay, never mind. Anyway, have a great weekend. We'll talk to you guys soon. Good night.
And never forget, and always strive for smoking sexy style.